Jiwaka's Coogee Hospital an important contributor. Short-paid TFF funding affecting schools and shining the light on waste pollution.
This is the National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Tuesday's news. The Kudjip Hospital in Jiwaka is an important contributor to the province's health. While it continues to face ongoing challenges, senior staff say its operations are largely supported by Nazarene missions and families from all over the world. This is a brief look at the Kudjip Mission Hospital.
From the outside, this is one of the better-run hospitals in the country. As a mission hospital, it has its advantages. It is supported by Nazarene missionaries and families all over the world. And basically, their help keeps the hospital in operation all year round. Dr. Susan Myers, the hospital administrator, says they also have the same challenges faced by other public hospitals.
And so we have the blessing of receiving donated supplies that helps to fill the gap. But as far as what we get from the government resources, it is a problem. It is a struggle. But the Lord has been providing what we need. In the area of primary health services, we've had some problems getting immunizations, maintaining supplies for HIV patients.
Running a hospital with limited funds is always difficult, and recently the hospital got support from the incentive fund. It's rebuilding infrastructure and expects to improve the level of care. With a growing population as well as the closure of at least 7 aid posts, it is a never-ending job for the administration.
In terms of the people coming here every day, we don't turn them away. They come in and see, and subject to any availability of medication if there is. As I said, the advantage is simply because we had the supplement from the Nazarenes around the world. Otherwise, could be a different story.
But going into the future, there are plans to ease into a transition which will see more local staff take over. But attracting the right kind of people remains a big obstacle. Scott Whitey, National EMTV News.
Students of Milford Haven Elementary School in Leh have been ending classes at 10 a.m. each day since the start of Term 1 because their water supply was disconnected by Water PNG due to non-payment of bills. Milford Haven Elementary School is one of the biggest schools in Leh District and was expected to receive more than 27,000 kina in TFF to operate the school. However, this year the school only received 2,000 kina in the first term. The elementary school is yet to receive its second quarter tuition fee-free funds. Now, the government water company, Water PNG, is threatening to take the school to court.
This is the elementary school's current situation. No water supply for the school, and toilets are out of bounds for students and teachers. This has been the case for these schools since school began this year. Teachers were forced to end classes at 10 a.m. every day so the students can go home early where they can have access to water and toilet.
Kids are without water. We are running classes for only 2 hours a day, and we need the government to fund us as soon as possible.
I'm stop inside the school. All water board been come to school. So only been talk lo kare mi pla go lo court. Where school no school blo mi pla. Private school bampla can sim money lo pocket blompla na bampla buying. School blo government, so government down lo put him TFF lo mi pla, so plano ka money lo buy na. Why ball water board kam carry mi pla go lo court? Ba mi pla go talk when him lo court.
According to Milford Haven Elementary School teacher in charge, the tuition fee-free payment they received in a quarter is not enough to operate the school with over 300 students.
We receive only about say 3,000 and 2,000 for the TFF component, which I disagree because being in the system for 19 years teaching in elementary schools, I believe that the component that the government is giving at the moment is not sufficient for us to do whatever is necessary for the school to continue with the children's education.
Milford Haven Elementary School is one of the biggest elementary schools in Leh District with over 300 students. This is the second school in Leh that cannot allow the students to continue classes because the water supply was disconnected by Water PNG.
Me plan need him straight water bill, so me plan like in government marks to look having and put in TFF come inside.
Yesterday, St. Martin's Primary School was forced to send the students early because Water PNG disconnected their water supply due to non-payment of bills. Schools are finding it difficult to operate because they haven't received their second quarter TFF payment. Even the money they receive is not enough to run the school.
Last quarter, we just received 2,000 plus. And when you look at 2,000 plus, we got many other things that in the school area that we need to do, stationaries and all this. And still, we feel that the money is not enough. The TFF component is not enough for us.
The Milford Haven Elementary School is a feeder school of Milford Haven Primary School. The primary school deputy head teacher Yellow Amu said they are also waiting for the second quarter TFF funds. Amu said the funds are insufficient and has affected the school's operation that has suffered the students the most.
I am asking, I really want the education minister and the government of the day today to at least do a change amendment to this policy that we have in place today. It's not really helping, it's not working. I can say it's a failed policy.
Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Leh.
Attempts by the Conservation and Environment Protection Authority to downsize and control the import of non-biodegradable plastic in the country continues to face hurdles. With an aim to help citizens realize the growing issue of waste, and in particular plastic, the Port Moresby Nature Park, in partnership with Bank South Pacific, are hosting a sculpture festival. The interesting thing is that these sculptures are made from what everyone considers trash.
An initiative of Port Moresby Nature Park with the support of the Bank of South Pacific, the BSP Trash to Treasure Sculpture Festival aims to raise awareness of the growing issue of waste, specifically plastic pollution.
There'll be 11 sculptures that will be in the park for people to see, and these are all very, very large, all made out of different materials, just to really, for people to think about how much rubbish that they're actually creating. We have had over the years lots of talks about recycling and the importance of recycling, but the world has got so much rubbish in it now that there's a lot more emphasis on reducing our waste. So really thinking about, do we need that waste in the first place?
Although environment policy and regulations have been implemented by the Conservation and Environment Protection Authority in 2014, plastic trash is still evident on the streets, in the drains, everywhere. For the last 3 months, Port Moresby Nature Park has been collecting rubbish from around the city. They then sorted through the collected trash and set aside the stuff they could use for the Trash to Treasure Sculpture Festival.
With Leonard Tebagetu from the Creative Kanaka, who's built the beautiful big main sort of sculpture frames.
The bottles, for instance, on the turtle shell, we cut the tops off and drilled holes, and then have threaded them onto the wire frame, onto the metal frame, using strings of wire.
BSP, the naming partner, also presented a check of 40,000 kina in support of the festival.
We launched the BSP Trash to Treasure Sculpture Festival. We expect to see some great masterpieces and creativity in the sculptures that will be on display here at the Port Moresby Nature Park. And we also encourage all the students to come have a visit and take a look at what the trash can be recycled into.
A recycling hub featuring a creation station with activities for children and also educational materials on how one can reduce and reuse waste will also be included. Lilian Sopera Kenea, National EMTV News.
Rigo District in Central Province is creating opportunities for its local farmers to till the land and grow the local economy. MP Lekwa Gure says the District Development Authority has decided to purchase tractors and fishing equipment to help farmers increase production in its agriculture produce. MP Gure says not all concentration will be along coastal Rigo, but inland Rigo as well.
The Rigo MP and members of the District Development Authority were at Boroko Motors this morning to hand over a tractor for farmers in Mamalo village. MP Gure says the agriculture sector has great potential, however farmers in rural areas were neglected with no support to harness their production rate.
That we have the land, then we need to enable our people to go into commercial farming. The second area is fisheries, and the district is already setting up for the fisheries. Early this year, we delivered 14 dinghies for our Rigo Fisheries Corporation.
This is the second tractor bought by the Rigo DDA through a decision in 2018. An arrangement is in place between the district and caretaker Uwe River Jr. of Mamalo village. Mr. Rivers says the tractor will have a huge impact in supporting local farmers in the Ward 7 area and nearby villages.
So I think it will help a lot. It will help by transporting goods from farms to water main roads during rainy seasons. And also it will plow our farms at a minimum cost. And I think it will also generate an income to all the farmers in this area.
The rollout of the support by the DDA is hoped to cover all areas of Rigo district. MP Gure says inland Rigo is also being considered, and given its difficult topography, the former pilot plans to revive 3 rural airstrips to freight agriculture produce into town.
We will look at on this Rigo North inspection, both in an aerial sense and on a road trip, that we look at things like what sort of agricultural products they grow up there. And then things like the site of communication towers, apart from just looking at the airstrips.
Jack Lapave Jr., National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. We will continue with more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Landowners of the Purari Development Association say comments by Prime Minister James Marape to change resource laws in the country are encouraging. Representatives from the 8 tribes in Baimuru in the Gulf Province say the existing laws are not in favor of resource owners of the country. They described Marape's comments to change resource laws as divine intervention.
These resource owners represent hundreds of beneficiaries of the Papua LNG gas project in the Baimuru area of Gulf Province. They say the gas agreement, which was signed in April by the O'Neill Able government, was rushed and did not capture the interests of resource owners.
We are encouraged by the Prime Minister's vision that he will make Papua New Guinea the richest black Christian nation. For us, that was a key message we wanted to hear. And for foreigners, they should not take us wrongly. We are fixing our country, which was burdened by the colonial laws that we did not know what we were accepting. I was one of the leaders in Parliament.
When assuming the role as the 8th Prime Minister, James Marape told Parliament the country's resource laws will be changed.
Looking into resource laws. At the moment, our resource laws are outdated.
Marape's comments were supported by the opposition leader, Patrick Purites.
We stand ready to assist this government in ensuring that legislation, particularly with his view of the resource laws that we have in the country, can be passed on the floor of Parliament.
The $10 billion U.S. gas agreement signed between the state and energy developers Total, ExxonMobil and Oil Search equals to 33.7 billion kina. However, the landowners say the 2% equity, which according to existing laws must be paid to landowners, is not enough.
The agreement itself did not comply to very critical preconditions of the Oil and Gas Act, which is the guiding pillar for the industry. What is the use of having the Oil and Gas Act to guide an industry when a developer can come inside, sign an agreement that has terms and conditions in it that dictates to Parliament and senior ministers of state to make recommendations for changes to the law? to accommodate that agreement. An agreement should never dictate to the pillars of the country's laws. It should only conform and comply with it.
Exercises on identifying who the legitimate landowners are have been completed to a certain extent, but the lack of support from political leaders in Gulf has delayed certain aspects of steps these landowners want to take in preparation for the LNG gas project.
We have cited a copy of the Papua LNG gas agreement, and it is not in favor of the landowners. Our leaders in the Gulf province, our members in the parliament representing the Gulf province, our councillors, Baimuru LNG councillors, whoever a leader is from Baimuru district, we are telling you, we are asking you, we are advising you to support the Prime Minister, because his statements, his media conference, his comments on the floor of the Parliament was mainly to amend and review the acts that covers the resources of PNG. We are very happy, we are proud that he has said, because as landowners, the latest signing of the Papua LNG gas agreement is not in favor of our landowners.
Thekla Gunga, National EMTV.